Hey guys, Palsteron here, and today let's talk about the day 2 update for my Kinetic Blast of Clustering Hierophant. Now, before the league I wasn't completely sure, but at this point I can say the build is a certified banger. The power that some of the new breach items brought into mid-game really bridged the gap to endgame for this skill. I've now cleared Uber Elder, Maven, and the only thing that's really left for my favorite slots is now Feared. This build has been an absolute pleasure to play, and I'll go over everything that changed from the last day 1 update. At this point I'm level 96.5. The only thing I haven't done yet is to do Feared and to do the tier 17 map. Everything else has been an absolute breeze. So the biggest upgrade I've made is my weapon. So there's not much else to do, right? Spam woes, and then I multi-mod, or I get lucky, either or. Which eye level? This one is 86, but you want at least 81. So we're looking for attack speed, crit chance, like here. That was a low hybrid. Now that is a tier 1 hybrid. What? Okay, I'm definitely keeping that one. So now I clean suffixes and I multi-mod, right? So all I need is free div. 3 additional crafted modifiers. Please, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. No! No. 27, 27. Okay, 26, whatever. Now to add to that, it is important that you look at the market and adjust accordingly, because what happens a lot is people do exactly what I did and then they have to pay a lot of premium when often there's a few different ways to do it. First, these are the stats we're looking for, and then you have to kind of work backwards. You want a combination of 5 of these in total. So for example, on my wand, I have mana, spell damage, mana hybrid, and then I get the last 2, increased attack speed and increased crit chance with my multi-mod. One mod is secured by the fracture that can't leave. In my case, that's mana. And then one you can add with either Essence of Woe or Essence of Zeal. So before you even go into randomness, you already have 2 mods fixed. So 2 steps to this. The first one is get the fracture base. It doesn't really matter whether you get +2 max mana, increased crit chance, and increased attack speed. At this point, we're not thinking about the perfect weapon. We're thinking about a efficient weapon for however much currency you have, right? In my case, that was the maximum mana, but all of the other fractures are totally fine as well. The only downside to having these 2 is then you actually have to hit mana, and the mana craft is only 74, whereas some of the differences between the attack speed and crit crafts are not as big. So if you look right here, the highest mana one is I think 74, yeah. So that is like half of what I have here. So if you had to multi-mod into that, that would be pretty damn bad. So mana is still premium. And while you're spamming these essences, there's 2 things that can happen to you unless you get absurdly lucky, but this is what for most people is going to happen. You either hit 4 mods. So for example, you're spamming the Essence of Woe and you're hitting like hybrid, like I did right here, and something else like crit chance. In that case, if you have a prefix open, all you have to do is go for pen right here, the attacks with this weapon penetrate elemental resistances, and you're done. But what happened to me in the clip was I hit one of the modifiers, which is tier 1 hybrid. And in that case, all I had to do was clean my suffixes. So what happens here is I go here and then I do prefixes cannot be changed, which I can't do right now for some. Oh yeah, there it is. Prefix cannot be changed. Then you scour orbit. It removes all the suffixes and only the prefixes are left. And then you multi-mod. So that's what I did for a total of an extra 4 divines. One thing I didn't realize at the time where I bought this one, I think I bought the base for like a divine or something, is how easy they are to make with the Genesis tree. So you can also try that out. Either you will hit the fracture with this here. Every birthed item has 33% chance to be fractured. And if you look right here, I take the reduced chance for attribute modifiers, reduced chance for caster modifiers, reduced chance for fire modifiers. The reason I took reduced chance for caster modifiers, even though I would love to have spell damage fractured, is the higher spell damage tiers are extremely hard to hit anyways. And even if you hit them, also hitting the fracture exactly on that is just very unlikely. Removing all those caster modifiers really makes it a lot easier. Then we have the more chance for birthed equipment to have intelligence requirement. This is only important so you don't get any bows, because you can already target ranged weapons, right? But bows are also ranged weapons. Less chance for dexterity requirement, once again, to remove the bows. Birthed Equipment has the lowest level modifier removed. I'm not 100% sure if this one is good, but so far it has been working out. Then I get increased chance for speed modifiers and increased chance for mana modifiers. With this tree so far, I've literally made, actually in total, I think 4 or 5 of these ones, but 1 or 2 with this base or a similar base that is actually usable. Prophecy Wand is the best base right now for that, but Kinetic Wand's also extremely strong. Next up, the Runegraft. As you guys might have noticed, my fork is gone, but I'm still forking and I still have all my projectiles. The reason is, as I talked about before league start, which we weren't sure about, the Runegraft of Refraction definitely does work for Kinetic Blast of Clustering, and it's quite a banger. It means that you can remove Fork from your links and instead go for something like LE damage with attacks. This one is quite expensive right now, and if you don't want to later remove it, like maybe you change your tree, then make sure you put it in a safe place. I would say this is the safest place because I can't really see a scenario where you would ever remove this mastery. Maybe like a new Unnatural Instinct setup up here with the new mod, with the Foulborn mod. But in general, I think this is the safest thing because there's a world where we remove all of this. There's a world where we remove all of this for some fancy setup, maybe block or something once we have a Svalin later. But you don't want to have to rebuy this one. So I think Project of Perfection is for now the safest one. The third thing I want to note is Graftblood Gained. One of my viewers brought this to my attention. So you know the juice that you gamble with on the Breach tree? There's actually a modifier that goes a lot higher than I thought it did. At first I had one very early on with like 10 or something, but this one goes up to 25% increased Graftblood Gained. This one is an absolute game changer and you can have it on both of your grafts. On top of that, I have upgraded my graft quite significantly. My Tornado does so much more damage now. It is at this point like half of my total damage whenever I plop it down. Skills used by this graft gain Cold as extra chaos is not that great, but the bottom line, skills used by this graft deal 214% increased damage. If you don't know, grafts do not scale with anything related to you, so that is straight up triple damage. There's also a modifier with +4 to levels, which is also very, very strong. But yeah, if you can get a combination of decent mods there, Dance in the White is still ridiculous on single target. And then I actually changed my second graft to this one, the Grey Wind House. So what happens here is that whenever you get inflicted with an ailment, it will be removed instead and you get a buff that gives you extra damage. And this is quite nice because while we are freeze immune from the Pantheon right here, we're not shock and ignite immune. And not chill immune. So this procs quite a bit. And with a little bit of skill effect duration, once again, Graftblood Gained, a little bit of extra damage and whatnot, I actually like this one over the shield one. So besides the tree that I already showed you for the fractured wands, I also want to show off the other tree because these rings have been getting quite expensive and I've made like I think 3 yesterday and 1 the day before with this. So in total, I have now made 4. These 2 are both bought because I bought them very early on. But after that, I just printed them and they were like 60 to 90 C depending on when you asked. And this is my setup here. I go for the jewels right here, which is unrelated, but I just want to have the extra out. There's some jewels that are worth a shit ton. But most important here, increased chance for jewelry and then 1000% increased chance to be rings. This already makes it a lot easier. You can definitely remove this jewel node, but I can tell you straight up, jewels are very rare in general. So whenever you get them, they're probably going to be worth something. You just path through here. Now I opted to go for the breach specific stuff still because I'm not only going for Kikazarus, but you do not have to take these nodes as well. You can also only focus on Kikazaru, especially if you're an SSF. This gives you extra Foulborn chance. This one makes it so the birthed uniques are rolled an additional time. Kikazaru is a very common unique. So once again, if you're only going for Kikazaru or if you don't have all your points yet, then don't take these straight up. And then, yeah, this one for me is just a no-brainer. I mean, obviously there's the Nightmare scenario where you brick a really expensive unique, but you have 100% increased chance to be Foulborn, which is a lot more Kikazarus. At the end here, I will quickly show you what I'm currently farming. So this is a Legion plus Altar Strat. Let's just do a Jungle Valley real quick, whatever, doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm curse immune anyways. All right, so all I'm doing right now is I'm using a Cartography Scarab of Escalation. I'm going Legion only on the map device because the Legion Scarabs right now are very expensive. Until that changes, I will just be Alkin going. Overall, I decided that the Scarabs are not worth it for me right now because Breach is giving me quite decent returns, and all that happens is the map gets a lot longer, so less breaches, and I'm paying like 40 C a map or something. So the build looks completely ridiculous at this point. It is ridiculous. I don't know what else to say. It it's basically like the leagues before when I played it, but it's so much easier to make work because of the Kikazaro rings, and it really just bridges the gap for me. Like, I've tried this on other leagues. I mean, the grafts also help for single target, obviously. I've tried this on other leagues, and it was nowhere near as smooth as the progression. This league, the early 6 links and everything, definitely helped. This is a power creep league, and if you are not playing like the strongest skills, then yeah, it is what it is, right? Like, this is not a league to play safe skills, in my personal opinion. But you can see it's extremely, extremely smooth. The Legion is just getting cleared, absolutely cleaned. For breaches as well, this build is an absolute treat to play. I mean, I can show you this. I could technically just stand in the middle, do this. I'm probably going to be super blurry. I can't help it right now, unfortunately. But yeah, the meter just fills up. You could just kind of chilling. Boom. And yeah, everything is just getting absolutely annihilated. For the Hive encounter, a lot of people have been having problem with that as well. Complete, like, no-brainer. There is never an issue here. Let's see if we get a boss, maybe. Maybe we get lucky. No, okay. Yeah, at this point, it really doesn't matter. Watch my latest video. If you're struggling with single target, watch my latest video about Wall of Force and positioning and whatnot. But yeah, some other stuff that changed. I made these boots from the tree. They just appeared like this, so I said, why not? The spell suppression is not really that great. My belt is still my worst link. I have to upgrade this one soon. Gloves are the same, rings are the same, body armor. I've been getting some extra phys mitigation from the implicit here. In general, I've been just chunking a few orbs on that, but yeah, ME is still the same. Shield is still the same. I think everything else is pretty much the same. I did improve upon my on my flasks a little bit. Otherwise, yeah, just extra points. Yeah, I've been getting more jewels. I guess pointing the corrupted blood cannot be inflicted on you is a pretty big deal, because sometimes you don't react fast enough with your flask. Quite strong, get a little bit of attack speed on it. Maybe if you can mana. Otherwise, nothing special. So yeah, Runegraft acquired, new weapon acquired. Next up is most likely going to be Indigon and how to kind of make it work. So we're going to talk about that in the next video. Hope you guys are having as much of a blast as I have. Yeah, see you at the next update video tomorrow. And since I still don't have a slogan, see you next time.